Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vedashya Prahinoti Tasmai Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamam Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Katribhyo Vanshishibhyo Mahatyo Namo Gurubhyah Sarvopaplavarahitah Prajnanaghanah Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamsmi Brahmaivahamsmi. Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghatavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohatvanta Divakaraya Bhagavatpada Vidham Vibrate Tasmai Bhashakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Vakyarthascha vicharyatam Shrutishirah Pakshasabha Shriyatam Tustarkat Suviramyatam Shrutimatastarko Nusadmiyatam. Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam Maharaha Garvah Parityajyatam Deham Matirujyatam Uthajani Vadasamutsrujyatam. Okay. So now a person has been able to reach to a conclusive understanding about what is the final, what is it that the Shruti, the Upanishad, finally wants to convey. It is not cherry picking, that you pick up only few things which appeal to you and then consider that as the opinion or that as the nirnaya judgment given by the Shruti. That is not the way. When one is able to look at the Shruti, the Upanishads, in entirety, totally, and then when one is able to understand, as this is what is meant by the Shruti, by the Upanishad, then one can say that he has reached the conclusion. So now the person has been able to reach the conclusion. Another thing, that is, now since you have been able to understand two things. One, that the Upanishad is a Pramanam. The Upanishad is, Shruti is the Pramana. The second thing that you have is, what is that Pramana finally showing? So now this Pramana has been able to show that this Atma is Brahman. And in knowing Atma is Brahman, the liberation takes place. Okay. What is liberation? The definition which is acceptable to all. Let us now say it is dukkhantam, that it is the end of all misery, of every form. Okay. We all understand misery means that if we lose something or someone who is what is very dear to us, then you may say that, well, this is misery. No, sir, everything, even desire by itself is also misery. So what is it that has caused the misery? That needs to go away. So misery in every form. Because you know that whenever even a small little desire enters our bosom, it leaves us restless till it is thrown out of the system. And the only way presently that we know to get rid of the desire is by fulfilling it. Now, those who have the logic saying that, well, desires are good because those desires make us happy. Fulfillment of the desires make us happy. And therefore, Swamiji, all what you people are talking is so, what do they call? What do they call? Depressing. What is it? The other word? Negative. What is it? Huh? Okay. Okay. That it is so negative. I don't have desire, don't have desire. It is so bad. We know our experiences that let's have more desires so that you have more occasions to be happy. The logic of these people is like this, that someday a little grain of sand entered a person's eye, and therefore he became very, very restless. He started rubbing the eye, and then finally rubbing and all those things. Eyes are watering and he's rubbing and everything. Then finally somehow that grain of sand comes out and he finds a great peace after that. Very happy. So now the logic is that every time you want to be happy, what should you do? Put some sand in your eyes, rub it well, and wait for it to come out, or keep rubbing till it comes out, and then feel the relief. How is that whole plan? It is like that. So the desire is something like that foreign material which enters into the system and creates restlessness. And when you are able to get it out by getting the object, when you have the object, now desire for that object is not there. There could be a different desire. Since one desire that you have got rid of, there is a great sense of joy. And therefore, desire, those who are saying, Now comes another thing. Why is there a desire? Desire basically means it is a declaration of you lacking something, not having something. I desire a car, which means that I don't have a car, or that particular car, or another car. So I want a car, I want a car, I want a car, and finally, by some hook or crook, you are able to buy the car. Now that you have the car, desire that I want the car is no more there. And so now there is a joy of having the car. You see, basically, where did it begin? It, it began with the idea that I lack, I am incomplete without it. I am incomplete without it. In order to search for your own completeness, one keeps on chasing the objects, adding those objects to you, thinking that this addition of objects to me is going to make me complete, Purnam. But that what is complete, that what is infinite, is it an addition of 1 plus 1 plus 1? That what is infinite is infinite. Infinite plus 1 plus or minus 1 does not make any difference to infinite. You see. So therefore now, what is that desire? It is basically a declaration of the fact that I am incomplete. Question comes, then what is it that is going to make you complete? Going to the heaven? Or going into some special state of trance or anything? Or getting some objects of this world or other world or anything else? What is it that is going to make you Purna? So now we say that what is going to make you, nothing can make you Purna because you already are. Nothing is going to make you complete. Why? Because you already are. You can get something that you do not have. Swami Dayanand used to say that even if some God comes to you, you can, and you say, Varambru, he asked for a boon. You can say, give me another head. You can ask for another head, but you cannot ask for a head on your shoulder again because you already have it. God also cannot give. So that what you are cannot be achieved, created, got. You are. So you are that Purnavastu is what we are saying. Then why is this sense of incompleteness? Because of ignorance. And if it is because of ignorance, how will it go away? Only through knowledge. Only through knowledge. Therefore, Atma is Brahman, and knowledge of Brahman is what is the cause of liberation. Okay. So now you have reached this conclusion. This is the Shruti Paksha, Shruti Shira Paksha. You have understood the meaning of what is Shruti Shira. Shira means the head. Shruti is the Veda. Head means the most important part of your body. Is your hand your identity? Is your little finger your identity? Then what is your identity? Your head, the brain. So over there, what is the Shruti Shiraha? And it means it is the Upanishad. Shruti Shira means the Upanishad. Tasya Pakshaha. Pakshaha, its opinion now, its conclusion. is what you should take refuge in. Shrutishirah Pakshah Samashriyata. Okay. Vakyarthashya Vicharyatam we have seen. Huh? Shrutishirah Pakshah Samashriyata. Then he says, this particular instruction, let us understand it. He says, Samyak Ashriyatam. What do you mean by taking refuge, a proper refuge in the Upanishad? What does it mean? It means Tasya Samyak Ashrayanam cha Tad Ukta Arthasya eva Grahanam. What is Ashrayanam? Ashrayanam means taking refuge, surrendering yourself to that Shruti, means Tasya eva Arthasya. Tasya means Upanishad. Tasya eva Arthasya Grahanam. Accepting the meaning which is now delivered by the Shruti, accepting that alone, nothing else. That alone is accepted. That is called as Ashrayana. But sir, will it not make us prejudiced, biased, and all those things? No. That does not happen. Why? Because if you have seen and understood that Shruti over here, the Upanishad is the Pramanam, then what happens as the Upanishad as the Pramanam? In order to have knowledge delivered by any Pramana, you surrender yourself unconditionally to the Pramana. Is not it? When you want knowledge of colors and forms, do you seek ears or nose or tongue or skin to know the color, to know the form? No. There is something which is 10 feet away. Do you see? Now I'm going to smell and find out what color and what this thing it is, form. Is it round? Is it square? I'm going to find that out. How? By smelling it? By licking it? How will you know? Hey, in order to know colors and forms, we just surrender to the Pramana, the eyes. You do not raise a question over there when it comes to. So also now when you want moksha, and moksha is through knowing Brahman, and to know Brahma, Upanishad is the only Pramana. Therefore now there is no other thing that one can surrender to. Shruti as the Pramana over here is what you Samyaga Ashrayanam. Tasyeva Arthasya Grahanam. And therefore, what are we striving for? To reach the conclusive understanding about what is given by the Upanishad, what is shown by the Upanishad. Tasyeva Arthasya Grahanam. But sir, the Shruti may say Atma is Brahman. There are other people who have different claims. Somebody is saying Atma is not Brahman. Atma is not Brahman is said by all others. And now they have their differences. Somebody is going to say Atma is a Jiva. Somebody is going to say Atma is this body-mind complex only. The third fellow is going to come and say that Atma is the pranas. The fourth fellow is going to come and say that the Atma is Shunyam, it is zero, nothing. You see? But all of these people who have different opinion than the Shruti are only saying what? Atma is not Brahman. Now, Atma is not Brahman, is even said by any ignorant person. So, what is it that you people have delivered? Atma is not Brahman, is said by all. Deham pranamapindriyanyapi chalam buddhincha shunyam viduhu. Stri, what is that? Stri balo jadopama. That people are saying that this Atma means I am this body. Deham. No, this is not this body. I am in this body and I vitalize this body. So when I am not there, the body is not vitalized. It remains as just a decaying matter. So now that what vitalizes the body, that what energizes this body, that what brings movement into this body is Atma, is me. Okay? So Deham, first fellow says this, our body is the Atma, I am this body. The second fellow says, no, I am that which energizes this body. Pran. Deham pran. Deham pranamapi. Indriyanyapi. Indriyas. No, sir. These pranas can be there. But I am these indriyas. And therefore the functions are done by me. Seeing, tasting, smelling, walking, talking. Who is doing it? I am doing it. And therefore, all these indriyas and the collection of indriyas is me. Okay? What am I? I am a collection. Individual indriyas is also me, and the collection is also me. Indriyani. The indriyas will do, but if there is no mind behind it, then what will these indriyas do, which are now energized by your pranas and are available in this body? And therefore, I am the psychology, the mind. I am this mind. Deham, pranam, indriyanyapi, chalam. Buddhi. Then somebody comes and says, no, nothing. What are you really? Shunyam, zero, nothing there. Nothing. Shunyam. Nothing. Zero. Nihilism. So all of them have different opinions. And these opinions finally is what? Saying Atma is not Brahman. Hey, even when you when you are ignorant, you obviously do not know that Atma is Brahman. And now that you have philosophized yourself so well, what is you still do not know that Atma is Purnam, is Brahman. So ignorance is intact. This is ignorance. So all these philosophies, no matter how beautiful they are, what are they? Nothing more but ignorance in different forms. This is ignorance in different forms. Imagine there are 4 or 5 people who enter the same room, which is dimly lit. So we know that it is a room, but these 4 or 5 people who have entered the room do not know that it is a room. Now all of them enter, and then they have the same kind of a thing, Hey, what is that we do not know? So the first fellow says, I can see it is a snake. The second fellow says, no, no, no. It is a pushpamala, it is a garland. The third fellow says, no, it is not a garland. Then what is it? He says, it is a crooked stick, danda. Okay? Because that rope was lying, not coiled up. It is straight. So it looks like some teda meda danda. Stick, cane. It is some stick like that. Danda. The fourth fellow says, no, it is just some water that has spilled that way. Okay. It is some water which is spilled like that. The fifth fellow says, no, 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 it is a crack in the ground. All of them have different opinions and they can justify their opinions. They're trying, looks very sophisticated, justified. And then there is a sixth fellow who says, no, it is a rope. Now, he who says it is a rope, he knows because he can say that because he knows it is a rope. He had seen it before. So he knows it is a rope. All these people now get into an argument. This fellow who says it is a rope, he says all of you are wrong. It is a rope. Now these five people get together, gang up, and what do they say? You are intolerant. Respect our opinions as we are respecting yours also. He says, no, sir. It is a rope. Now, all of them claiming that these are different objects. What is that claim? That claim finally means that I do not know. That ignorance is still there. You see, not knowing the rope as rope is ignorance. Knowing it as something else is also ignorance, because in that also you have still not known rope as rope. So the ignorance is still there. Now here is the ignorance. The ignorance is intact, though it appears as different opinions. Okay. Why is that happening? Because the pramana was not able to function properly. What is moksha? What is this Atma? Knowing this Atma as Brahman, this is not known, and it will be known only if you have the pramana and when the pramana is able to function properly. Now, since you do not have this, therefore all other opinions, no matter what they are finally a declaration of not knowing. And therefore, these are all ignorance in different forms. And therefore, Shruti Shiraha Paksha Samashriyatam. Samyak Ashrayatam means what? Tadarthasya eva grahanam. Tadarthasya. That what is shown by the Shruti, that Atma is Brahman, is what should be, what is now to be taken up. Okay. Then what about opinions of others? Let that be there. We have nothing to do about it. At the most, if you feel that this is an what do they call, an obstacle to you, then now logically the refutation of those things also will come in. So here we go. Samashriyatam. Shruti Smriti Virodhe cha Shrutireva Baliyasiti Nyayena Shrutehe Balavat Pramanatvena Tad Uttarthasya eva Grahyatvat Maharshi Pranitasya Smrutirmupatvena Durbalatvat Tad Uttarthasya Agrahyatvat तथा च दुर्बल स्मृत्युक्तम पक्षम परित्यज्य श्रुतिशिरसम्मतम मदुक्तार्थमेव गृहाण इति. Okay. Now, Shruti Smriti Virodhe, if there is any clash between these two things, what is said by someone and what is shown by the Veda, in that case, what is said by the Veda is not a person's opinion, because Veda is not a person's, or not authored by any person, not by any local person, not even by Ishvara. Veda is apaurusheyam. By that virtue that it is apaurusheyam, it is not the kriti of a Purusha, Laukika Purusha, or any Alaukika Purusha, or even by a Parama Purusha. Even we do not say that Ishvara has created the Veda. No. Veda means knowledge. And if Ishvara has created knowledge, which means this Ishvara was ignorant before that. Before knowledge, this Ishvara was ignorant, and this ignorant fellow now created knowledge. That is what it would mean. So we say that this Veda is not at all a Purusha Kriti, which means any Purusha's work, any person's creation, authored by any local person like anybody of us, no matter how intelligent and how great that person may have been, character-wise, morally, ethically, everything. He can be a great person, but not authored in Veda. Or any Alaukika Purusha, some Indra, Varuna, whatever, Chandra, Rudra, anyone, no one, not even Paramapurusha. Apaurushaya. How is Veda? Apaurushayam. The Veda is there in the Ishvara's nature and comes out at the time when at the dawn of humanity. Now, this is how this Veda is. Then against which there is a Smriti, said something that is said by a person, written by a person, authored by a person, created by a person. Now, amongst these two, if there is a clash between Shruti and Smriti, then finally there is a Nyaya. Nyaya means an established rule. Now, in order to establish a rule also is not somebody makes a rule. We go logically towards it. Why is something acceptable? Why not? And that makes a rule. So that what is that rule? That wherever there is any clash, Shruti, Smriti, Virodhe, there is a Virodha between Shruti and Smriti. What is Smriti? It is an opinion, a philosophy, a theory created by a person. If there is this, and between the Shruti and Smriti a clash, in that, then what is it? What should you resort to? Shruti Reva Baliyasi. Shruti alone is stronger. And thus, even if whatever is being said by the Shruti could be very appealing, very pleasing, yet by this Nyaya, Shruti alone stands as Baliyasi, Balavan Pramanam, Balavat Pramanam. Okay. Therefore, Tatha Durbala Smrityuktam Paksham Parityajya. Therefore, by giving up that Durbala Smriti Paksha, Shruti Paksha, Shruti Shirah Paksha should become acceptable. samyak grahanam. This is called as that. So now furthermore, dustarka suviramyata. Dustarka. What is the meaning of basically tarka? Okay. You ask the Tarka Shastras, we can translate the word Tarka as logic generally. But what exactly is meant by the word Tarka? A debate, some debate not necessarily is Tarka. In debate, you employ Tarka. Debate is basically a dialogue of two people. But when can this dialogue be called as a debate? Exactly. So you are using some logic. Our question is, why are you using this logic? What are you trying to do? Are you just debating? Are you just having some, intellectual wrestling over there? For what? Obviously, to prove that you're smarter. This is then if you want to prove you're smarter and that's why you're using some sort of argument, then that is a clash of egos. We are not interested in that. What is it meant for? If it is meant in order to understand something, which means whatever that object is, we are not able to understand what it is. So there is a tattva, something, some principle is there. We are not able to, we do not know what exactly. And therefore, there is a tattva, and we want to know about that tattva. So, tattva jnana. Tattva jnana means knowledge of that particular principle. We want to know. Tattva jnanatham, in order to gain the tattva jnanam, okay, so tattva jnanam is still not reached. Jnanam has still not happened. Tattva jnanatham, for the sake of tattva jnanam, karanopapatti uhaha tarkaha. The justification, rationalization, or logical derivation, okay, of its cause. Because when do you say you understand something? When you understand it in its cause. So when karanopapatti, uha is this uha poha, like how you the arguments done for it, to and fro, for it, pro and against. That uha is called as tarka. That uha is called as tarka for the sake of jnanam. So it is not jnanam, it is for the sake of jnanam, it is tarka. So tarka by itself is not knowledge. It can be for the sake of knowledge. Okay. So pramana is not, what do they call? Tarka is not knowledge. For the sake of knowledge, it is there. Then this tarka, dustarka. What is dustarka? A defective logic or a defective tarka is called as dustarka. When a person gets caught up in defective logic, it is like the whirlpool. You can keep on giving some sort of twisted, deformed logic, thinking that how logical and how intellectual it is. Then the person is caught up in that sort of a thing. To understand the defect of the logic and then to rectify it is what we can do. So dustarka suviramyatam. Viramyatam is withdraw from them. Viramyatam. Okay. Shankaracharya is not happy just saying viramyatam. He uses one prefix to viramyatam, suviramyatam. Like you have vichar and you have suvichar. Vichar means a thought. And what is suvichar? Good thought. Viramyatam, suviramyatam. Not only you withdraw, but how you withdraw from that dustarka? Suviramyatam. Withdraw well from that logic, which is twisted, which is defective. Dushta, dushta. Du means dushta. Dustarka means that du in tarka. If the prefix du, what does it mean? Dushtaha, defective. Dushitaha, abhasa. It is only in abhasa. Abhasa means abhasa means just an appearance. It appears logical, but it is not, because there is an inherent defect in it. Dushta Shruti viruddha iti tarkaha yuktirupaha tasmat dustarkat suviramyatam sushtu viramyatam. What is sushtu viramyatam? Sarvada ichha bhavaha eva viramasya sushtutvam bodhyam. That forever viramyata. Don't, not to fall into its trap of that logic again is sushtu viramyata. Okay. Then somebody raises a question and he says, Nanu, I remember one day, one of my teachers from whom I studied in Vrindavan, Swami Vishwatmananji, okay, his guru, for whom we have all great reverence, Swami Akhandananji Maharaj. So one day, when Swami Vishwatmananji was with Maharajji, he asked Maharajji, Maharajji, आप ईश्वर का खंडन कीजिए. Now, खंडन कीजिए means नहीं. You logically prove Ishvara is not there. There is nothing like Ishvara. Khandanam. Proof. An intellectualization of the opinion Ishvara is not there. He asked me, because Maharajji was a very, good at that, Shastra. So he has read even the Bauddha Shastra and Jaina Shastra and everything. So he says, now you do Khandana of Ishvara. Prove Ishvara is not there. So Maharaj ji said, हम क्यों खंडन करेंगे? तुम खंडन करो, हम मंडन करेंगे. Why will I disprove Ishvara? Why will I disprove Ishvara? You disprove, you try to disprove, and I will establish. Dustarkat suviramyatam shrutimatas tarko Now don't get into this argument of wanting to prove Atma is not Brahman. All the logic which goes to say Atma is not Brahman is Dustarka. Instead of that, there is plenty of Dustarka done by people. If you want to do anything, then use logic to prove Atma is Brahman. So this is what comes next. हम क्यों करेंगे ईश्वर का खंडन? तुम खंडन करो, हम मंडन करेंगे. I will. दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यताम्, then श्रुतिमतः तर्कोनुसन्धीयताम्. That does not mean that a person just gives up every form of logic. In fact, logic is very useful because logic is going to fill in the gaps between the two things that where you feel that there is a gap of between the cup and the lips. Atma is Brahman is said by the Shruti, but I have my doubt. So that doubt is what? Doubt is a discrepancy. There is a gap. It is a discrepancy. And how will this gap be cemented, filled? Only by giving appropriate logic. And therefore, nobody says give up thinking rationally, correctly, logically. Logic has to be used, but let that logic be in service of Shruti. Let the logic be in the service of the Pramana, the Shruti. How is Atma Brahman? Use logic, your intellect for that. Not to say how Atma is not Brahman. How Atma is not Brahman was even said by you even before that. Now after studying, you still want to say Atma is not Brahman. Then what have you achieved? You are still from where you began. You began by saying Atma is not Brahman. Then you studied the Upanishad and then came to the conclusion Atma is not Brahman, right? So what conclusion did you come to? Atma is not Brahman. Anything else that you say, Atma is Jiva, Atma is Phalana, Tika, whatever you may say, everything means Atma is not Brahman. If this is the kind of thing that you had to reach, you were very happy even before that. This is what you were saying even before that. Now that you have come studied and then finally come that Atma is not Brahman. What is that? Therefore, now Shruti has shown you Atma is Brahman. Use your intellect to justify how Atma is Brahman, not how Atma is not Brahman. Ye kya hai? Therefore, Shruti mataha tarkonusandhiyatam anusandhiyatam. Let us see that instruction. यदि दुस्तर्कात् विरामः तर्हि किं तर्कत्वादि अविशेषात् सुतर्कोऽपि विरमकार्यः इति अतः आह श्रुतिमतस्तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम्. Bhai, that does not mean give up logic, give up a logical derivation of anything. That does not mean that. But what? Shrutimataha, sammataha, Shruti tarparyarthanuguna iti yavat tarkaha anumanam. Now, whatever inferences that you want to draw, let those inferences be in tandem with the conclusion of the Shruti, of the Upanishad. Anusandhiyatam. Anusandhiyatam means anusmaryatam. Okay? Anusmaryata. Ayam bhavaha. Shrotavyo mantavyaha iti shravananantaram manana vidhanena mananasya yukyanuchintana rupatvena shruti artha dardhyarthataya avashyakatvena shrutyadayo anubhavadayascha yatha sambhavam iham pramanam iti bhashyena श्रुत्यतिरिक्त प्रमाण स्वीकारेण तस्यावश्यकत्वेन दुस्तर्कस्य श्रुत्यर्थ विरोधित्वेन परिहार्यत्वेपि सतर्कस्त्वया आवश्यम यह अनुसन्धेयः एवि. Now, Shrutyartha Darಢ್ಯರ್ಥಂ, in order to strengthen, in order to strengthen that what is shown by the Shruti. Darಢ್ಯರ್ಥಂ. Like these 5 people who have different opinions. Now each one of them, there is a logic which he is going to use as well as you will also have to use. He will use the logic to prove it is a snake. Then you will have to also use the logic to prove that it is a rope. But you are going to say, why not switch on the light instead of doing this? In case of the snake and the rope, light is possible. But in case of this Brahman, Atma, now what bulbs are you going to switch on? And therefore we will have to use the logic over here. And how should that logic be? It should be in service of the Shruti, inference which is supportive of the Shruti. For what? So that now it gains strength. So that it gains strength. So nobody is saying that give up logic, give up thinking or anything. Okay? Thinking should be there, but how? By removing the defective thinking. Now don't sit on something as that it is a fact because I am saying it. If you want to say it is a fact since I am saying it, it is only insistence. That is going to become your prestige issue, your ego issue. We are not sitting over here to glorify ego. We are sitting over here in order to know the truth. It is not truth because it is somebody who has said. No. We are going to ask this fellow, how did you even know this is truth? No, this is truth because I have known and I am saying it. God says that you should believe in me. What is this? What is this God? Because God says you should believe in me, I am right. Then I am also going to say, God says believe in me, not in this fellow. Now what? Really? Now I will prove you. I will chop your head off. Now tell, whose side God is on? My side. Because you say no, God is not on your side, your head will also go. Ye kya baat hai? What is this? This is a prestige issue. Is do not show you the tattva. The truth is not revealed because it is some person's opinion. We will ask, how is this person even coming to that opinion? How did he know it? No, God came and told me. Basically prove that there is God, then we will see that whether God comes and tells you or not. Then comes another issue, can God really come like that and tell you? Keep on sending you messages. What is this? The whole thing. And if you still want to take it up, but don't force it. So this is not meant to tell you that swallow something just because it is said. Hey bhai, is it a praman or not? That is what is more important. Shruti mataha tarkon sandhiyata. Furthermore, we got to run a little bit. Nanu ukta vicharena asambhavanayaha nivritattvena aham brahmasmiti nishchaye chatepi dehadav aham अभिमानेन तत्र च आत्मनिष्ठय सत्वेन स्वस्य ब्रह्मत्व निश्चयस्य अनेन अभिभूतस्य च कार्यजनन असामर्थ्येन उत्पन्नोऽपि ब्रह्मत्वनिश्चयः निष्फलः स्यात्. All right. Now, Brahmasmi iti vibhavyatam. Now comes an instruction about something about meditation. What is the place of meditation in the scheme of knowledge? Let us see that tomorrow. Okay, what is the place of meditation in the scheme of knowledge? We have to see that. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Thank you all.